So let's talk about Sora by OpenAI. It's kind of the talk of the town right now. Everybody's talking about how great it looks and the types of videos it can make, but is Sora really that good? Now, don't get me wrong, Sora can do some really amazing things like water, nature, even people, but there's certain things that as I've been using it, it just always seems to kind of mess up and it looks really, really weird. And I want to show you what those things are so that you can be aware of them if you decide to try Sora. Now this video just has a person that's sitting down, but if you basically ask Sora to do anything with people when they're moving, it just messes it up almost every single time. And let me give you an example. So here's a good example of an old man sitting on a park bench in the park. Now, it looks good, but when you watch these people, there's some stutters in their steps. They're not even walking on the walkway. They're kind of walking like right in front of him weirdly on the grass. People just wouldn't normally act like that or move like that when they're walking. There just seems to be a ton of extra tells when you do videos of people moving. So again, on this theme of movement, here's another one where you have a dog, right? You have a golden retriever in a backyard. Right here, all of a sudden its head disappears. If things turn or rotate at all in the camera, you get some really weird AI artifacts, like it looks like people's heads spin around 360 degrees or that they don't even move at all. It often gets messed up with perspective too, right? Like for example, here's a video of an old man reading a newspaper in a park, and you can see his hand like goes through the paper. The paper's weird. Nobody reads a newspaper like that, just the movements of the hand. It's not even connected to his hand. So I've noticed as you prompt Sora to do anything with hand mechanics, it really kind of struggles to get it right. Here's another one where I asked Sora to basically personify the Gen Z word drip, right? Which is kind of funny. It did a really good job understanding the context of what drip meant. But like, look at the weird movements this kid does with his hands. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. The close-ups look fine on the clothes, the necklace. The necklace isn't really connected there. But yeah, the hand movements, the stuff like that are just strange. It's just weird. Doesn't look quite right. It kind of looks like a puppet that just isn't moving very correctly. Here's another one of like a dance party, right? At first glance, it looks pretty good. But if you slow things down, people just kind of randomly appear, disappear. I've noticed that with fast camera shots, especially when there's people walking in like a New York street or something busy like this where there's lots of people. As the camera moves, people will just randomly show up and disappear behind people. It's like a magician's act. Here's another really good example of walking mechanics and how it just really kind of struggles with that. It looks like they're on an invisible treadmill that's on top of this, blacktop, and they're just not moving at the right speed. So yeah, Sora is cool, but when it comes to mechanics of like realistic physics, it really struggles in certain aspects, and I've really seen it struggle with mechanics of movement of animals as well as humans. So here's an example of that head twisting effect that I'm talking about. So here the prompt was a girl twirling around in a dress. Her head and her face kind of just reappear, and it never really turns with her body, which honestly would make a great, horror film. But for realism and physics of how your head moves when you twirl around, it's really, really strange. And this is a very common problem with Sora. Almost every video where you ask a animal or a human to turn or rotate, you get this sort of weird effect. Now, as weird as some of those things are, sometimes Sora will just absolutely surprise you. For example, there's this clip of an old man sitting on a bench. He looks amazing, right? The kids in the background are blurred. There's some weird stuff happening back there, but your focus and your attention's on the old man, so you don't really notice some of the stuff that the kids are doing in the background. If you take a look at this awesome close-up video of a gorilla and its face, it's nuts, right? Like the eyes, the detail in its skin, the way the muscles move when the eyes blink. It looks pretty amazing, as well as with the hair, right? It's pretty cool. And it would be really hard to take a look at this video and know that this was made by an AI tool. Here's another one of water crashing on a beach, right? The water, the way it moves, looks really, really good. There is one kind of tell on this video when the water sprays up over the rocks. It kind of blurs in a strange way, which looks kind of computery and AI. So that is one of the giveaways here. But overall, it looks very believable, very realistic. It's pretty impressive. impressive in my opinion. So this kind of brings me to my main point that while Sora is a pretty amazing tool, it can do some really cool stuff, it also screws up a ton of stuff. Like, it isn't as amazing as everyone says it is from a certain point of view, right? When it comes to lighting, reflections, it's pretty cool that an AI can take, 45 seconds and make you a video that looks pretty convincing. But when it comes to something of a level like a feature film or something where it needs to look really, really good, it's just not there yet. So like I said, I spent $200 on this to be able to try this out. And that's not $200 for a whole year, that's $200 a month. So is it worth $200 a month? Maybe, depending on what you're using it for. But for me, for example, in YouTube and things like that, I would probably not use this. It's just not quite ready yet. So while Sora may not be incredible right now, it's pretty safe to say that Sora is going to continue to get better and better and better. Now, will it cost $200 a month forever? Will the price go up? Will the price go down? Time will tell. We're going to have to see how this goes. And it really kind of depends on the competition, right? It depends on how Google VO looks, some of these other ones that people have come out with, and what their price points are for people to use it. So just like you, I'm watching all of this with bated breath to kind of see what direction it goes. So hopefully this video was helpful to show you where we're at right now so that we can compare and contrast as time goes by. Thanks a ton for joining me, and I'll see you next time.